the hierarchy of trash in your head. A junkyard instead of a temple. They've been lying to us for a long time. They told us the human mind is a temple, a blank slate, or a complex computer. It's time to face the obvious. Your brain is a derelict warehouse on the edge of an industrial zone. There is no sterility there. There are rusty shelves, scraps of old newspapers, broken glass, and piles of junk you've been dragging in for years, hoping it would come in handy. You wake up to the sound of a notification. That's the first piece of trash flying into your warehouse for the day. By evening, there will be thousands of such pieces. A blogger's opinion on politics, a headline about a new virus, a sideways glance from a security guard at the supermarket, a memory of how you embarrassed yourself in school. Your mental space isn't invaded by grand tragedies. It is suffocated by a slow, relentless drizzle of trivialities. Each notification is a grain of sand, and you are being buried alive. The problem isn't that the trash exists. The world is entropy in a concrete suit. It can't help but produce waste. The problem is that you don't know how to sort it. You store yesterday's anger at your boss next to your life plans, and in the end, everything starts to smell the same. You treat the opinion of a stranger on the internet with the same weight you give to your own health. The most dangerous kind of trash is the radioactive waste of other people's expectations, thoughts about what people will think. In Stoicism, there is a concept called prohairesis, your faculty of choice, the only thing that is truly yours. But you've let it atrophy. You worry about looking cheap in a subway car, surrounded by people who will forget your face before the next stop. You get angry when someone in the comments calls you an idiot, failing to realize that their digital scream has no physical form. Look at it soberly, that someone is just another biorobot in another concrete box, probably staring at a cracked screen and feeling the same void you do. Why has their noise become part of your warehouse? It's trash. It has no weight. It is a phantom limb that only hurts because you refuse to believe it's gone. Domestic rot and old rags. The layer of food waste consists of those very socks, unwashed mugs, and tubes of toothpaste. In your head, they rot the fastest. This is the minor domestic hell that occupies more of your brain than your actual future. You replay dialogues in your mind where you finally tell them everything, perfecting your sarcasm for an audience that isn't even there. You waste hours of your life in internal arguments with people who, at that moment, are probably staring at their own socks on the floor or mindlessly eating cold takeout. This is perishable trash. If you don't throw it out immediately through ignorance, it will poison everything else. Your attention is the only currency that hasn't been devalued, and you're spending it on grievances that will be forgotten by next Tuesday. When you think about a grudge, you are literally feeding parasites inside your warehouse. You are giving life to a ghost. Every "can you believe they did that?" is a fresh load of organic waste dumped onto your floor. It smells, it attracts vermin, and it keeps you from seeing the exit. Nearby, in the dark corners of the warehouse, lies a massive pile of old, stinking rags. These are your regrets, the great if-onlys of your existence. If only I hadn't quit back then. If only I had called her. If only I had bought assets when they were dirt cheap. This is the most useless kind of trash. The past does not exist. It has no more physical reality than the dreams you had last night. It remains only in the form of these dirty rags in your head, heavy, damp, and useless. You constantly trip over them, try to wash them with the tears of nostalgia, and hang them out to dry, but they still smell like mold. You think that by re-examining your mistakes, you are learning. You aren't. You're just hoarding. In the hierarchy of trash, the past should stay in a lead-lined basement buried under 10 feet of sand. You cannot change it, and it cannot touch you unless you choose to pick it up and wear it like a hair shirt. Leave it there and close the heavy iron door. Plastic noise and the incinerator. The informational background is the plastic of the soul, Telegram channels, infinite scrolls, the dopamine-fueled hunt for the next outrage. Plastic does not decompose. It clogs the entire space of your warehouse with small, bright, jagged particles that never go away. You remember a meme you saw 3 hours ago, but you can't remember why you walked into the room or what you actually wanted to achieve today. Informational trash creates a lethal illusion of activity. You think you're in the loop, that you're informed. In reality, you're just burying your warehouse in microplastics until the floor is no longer visible, and you can no longer take a single step without crunching on someone else's thoughts. This noise is designed to keep you from ever sitting in silence. Silence is dangerous. In silence, you might realize how much trash you've collected. You must become paranoid about what you let inside. Treat every link, every headline, every hot take as a potential biohazard. Ask yourself before every click, will this help me maintain my dignity when the power goes out? If the answer isn't a definitive yes, it belongs in the incinerator. A Stoic's incinerator is logic. It is cold, efficient, and merciless, like the industrial furnaces at the edge of town. When another portion of junk flies into your warehouse, you must stop it at the entrance. You have exactly 1 second before the stimulus becomes an emotion. In that second, apply the depends, doesn't depend filter. It is a binary choice. If it depends on you, your actions, your judgments, your character, leave it on the shelf. It's a tool. If it doesn't depend on you, the weather, the exchange rate, someone else's opinion, the socks on the floor, the mistakes of 2015, it's trash. Feed it to the flames. Watch it burn. Do not romanticize the smoke. This won't make you happy. Happiness is a marketing term used to sell antidepressants, weekend getaways, and luxury cars. It's a carrot on a stick for people who still think the world owes them something. But this process will give you something better, breathing room. You will finally be able to see the walls of your own mind. Life in an empty workshop. When you finally clear out the hierarchy of trash, you'll discover a strange and terrifying thing. It turns out you need very little. You don't need validation from people you don't even like. You don't need tons of information that changes nothing. You don't even particularly need order in the physical world around you, because your internal warehouse is now an impenetrable fortress. A clean, hollow space in the middle of the chaos. You sit in your one-room apartment. Outside, the roar of the metropolis, the screech of tires, the relentless entropy of the concrete meat grinder. People are fighting over crumbs, losing their minds over hashtags, and drowning in their own hoard of mental garbage. Inside you, emptiness and cold, calculated control. You are no longer a victim of the trash. You are the master of the void. You see the trash others are dragging into their heads with such enthusiasm, and you don't feel sorry for them. Pity is just more trash. You simply know how this junkyard works. You know that most people are just walking landfill sites, carrying around the rot of decades. You, however, have chosen the path of the empty workshop. It's cold there, yes, it's quiet, but it's yours. This is victory. It's not a victory with banners and cheering crowds. It's the victory of a man who realizes he is in a prison, but decides to stop decorating his cell with garbage. The walls are still there, the bars are still there, but the air is clear. This is the only victory available to you in a world made of concrete and noise. Task for the recluse. Tonight, when your hand reaches out to refresh the feed for the 10th time, or when you want to dwell on an old grudge that makes your chest tight, stop. Imagine yourself personally dragging a heavy, leaking bag of rot into your clean workshop. Look at it, feel the weight of it, smell the decay, and then, with total indifference, drop it into the incinerator of logic. Don't look back at the sparks. It doesn't matter. Everything is trash, except for your choice not to be part of the pile.